How you doing, YouTube? This is Gunnery Sergeant 67 bringing you another YouTube video. Today's YouTube video is going to be on prepping list for beginners. Preparedness items to get first. All right, YouTube, let's get into it. So over the course of my last 5 or 6 videos, I've gotten a lot of requests to do a video for beginning preppers on what they should get first as far as prepping priorities. So I went ahead and compiled this list. This is what I think that beginning preppers should focus on. And again, this might vary depending on where you live and what kind of financial situation you're in, how old you are, things like that. So there's a lot of variables. But for right now, when you cover the whole gambit of human needs, these are the things that I would go ahead and purchase first to ensure that regardless of the situation that transpires, whether it's a natural disaster, man-made disaster, whether it is food scarcity, whether it is a personal SHTF like you get fired from your job or you get sick, any of those things, these are the things that will go ahead and carry you over and get you through a situation. All right. Let's go ahead and start off with this list. The number one prepping item I would get for beginners would be a personal protection item. For me personally, I live here in the United States, which I've stated numerous times. For me, my personal protection item is going to be a firearm. Now, this has been shown numerous times on my channel. This is a Glock 35 chambered in .40 Smith & Wesson, and I get asked all the time, why do I go ahead and have a .40 Smith & Wesson Glock? And the answer is that the reason why I have 40 cal is, to me, is the best of both worlds. It's a lot powerful than a 9mm. It's but it's a lot faster than a .45 caliber, and it provides you the perfect combination of power and speed. So, in addition to this, though, .40 caliber, you can go ahead and get a ammo conversion kit for this. I have a Lone Wolf 9mm conversion barrel, and you just change the barrel out and you change the barrel out, and now you can shoot 9mm. You get the appropriate mags, the magazines, and you have yourself a firearm that can shoot 2 different calibers. Additionally, I also have an Advantage Arms 22 caliber conversion kit. You just take the slide off of this Glock 35 and you put the Advantage Arm 22 long rifle conversion kit, and now this single firearm can shoot 9mm and 22 long rifle. So it becomes a very diverse prepping item, not only for personal protection, but you can also go ahead and utilize a 22 to hunt small game. So it becomes that much more versatile. Additionally, on my channel, I've stated it numerous times. Me personally, I think that this is ranked number 1 as far as preparedness items that you need to get, because if you cannot protect yourself or your family or your preps, you're not going to last long. Those preps are not going to be yours. So my number 1 preparedness item to get first is a personal protection item, and in my case, I choose a firearm. All right, the number 2 prepping list for beginners preparedness items to get first is 2 weeks supply of food. Now, what I got in front of you right now is a Mountain House essential meal assortment bucket. You get about 3 or 4 of these, and you have enough for an emergency scenario, an SHTF scenario, to where you got about 2 weeks of food. This isn't necessarily the ideal type of food you want to get, But if you have limited space, you have physical impairments as far as what you can lift, then in my opinion, this is one of the best things that you can start out with is freeze dry food, MREs, and canned foods. But again, this is just here for kind of like a visualization to give you some eye candy as far as what we're talking about. 2-week supply of food. That's the number 2 preparedness item to get first. My number 3 preparedness item to get first would be water filtration, purification, and water containers. What you got in front of you is a Sawyer Mini. It can filter everything down to, I think, 0.6 microns. So it's pretty good, and it's good for 100,000 gallons. Additionally to purification and filtration, you want to go ahead and have the ability to collect water. So I've got a water brick right here, right in front of you. You get a couple of those, or you can get those Scepter water cans, which I've used in the military, and they are just about bomb-proof. They're nice and thick. They're durable. You really can't do too much to them to where they'll break. You really have to be trying to break those, but they're very expensive. In addition to that, you can get something like what's right here, which is a Aquapod kit. Now, you put this in your bathtub, you fill it up. This one right here is good up to 70 gallons. They do have some that are 100 gallons. The only issue with this is, for this to work, you have to know the disaster is coming. If you know the disaster is coming, or if you have some type of way to get power to run the pumps and stuff in your house, and then you can utilize this. But usually you have to know that the disaster is coming, and then you fill it up from there. So that is my number 3 preparedness item to get first. The fourth preparedness item to get first is going to be some type of shelter. Now, I know a lot of people say, hey, my shelter is my house or my apartment. Yes, that can fall into that. But the reason why I put shelter for this is that something like a tent, in addition to sleeping bags and wool blankets, they can allow you to create microclimates in your house. If for whatever reason, if you don't have a gasoline generator, or you don't have the ability to have a gasoline generator to run your furnaces or things like that, then you can go ahead and utilize this shelter inside of your house, along with something like this 3 Seasons USMC sleeping bag, which goes all the way down to 51 degrees. Let's see if you can see this. Not really, but it is a 3 season United States Marine Corps sleeping system, and it can go all the way down to, I think, negative 51 or negative 52 degrees below zero. It uses 3 separate bags, a green one, a black one, and a Gore-Tex. The green one is for the summer and spring. The black one is for winter. And then the Gore-Tex lining is to keep the wind and the rain off of you. It keeps you from getting wet, and you combine all 3, and then it can go down to negative 51, negative 52 degrees Celsius. It's a pretty big game changer when it comes to keeping you warm. But additionally, if you can't get something like that, because that bag is somewhat expensive, I think I bought it probably about 10 years ago for about $300, then you can go ahead and load up on something like this. Wool blankets. Those wool blankets are perfect. They can get wet and they can still keep you nice, warm, and toasty. You get a couple of those, probably about 2 per family member, and you can go ahead and stay relatively warm. So that is my 4th preparedness item to get first: shelter, tent, sleeping bag, or wool blanket. The 5th preparedness item to get first is going to be first aid, medication. you need to get a good first aid kit. Now, this is a standard Stanley personal protection first aid kit. Now with this, I got it and I added a bunch of other stuff as well, so it's pretty versatile. Additionally, I've got a crap load of other things in this medical kit. So I have a splint here, inflatable splint. I got an emergency blanket. I also have in here, I've put a Bolin chest seal. Also too, I've thrown in here another Bolin chest seal, so I got 2 of those. I went ahead and thrown in a SWAT stretch wrap tourniquet. And then I've got a standard tourniquet and I've got some quick clot in there. Additionally, I also got a Soul Survival Outdoor bivy sack, which is pretty good, but you need to have first aid. Accidents happen, and it always seems like accidents happen when times that you really don't want them to happen, and it's usually those events that stress us out, like natural disasters, SHTF events, things of that nature. So when a SHTF event transpires and you can't get to the hospital or hospitals aren't available, you want to be able to go ahead and self-treat yourself and your family. The only way you can do this is if you have the proper materials to do so. So that is the 5th preparedness item to get first. The 6th preparedness item to get first, in my opinion, is going to be emergency power generation. What you got in front of you, I've went ahead and reviewed this before, and I've went ahead and shown it on my YouTube channel numerous times. This is a Jackery 300 Plus. This thing is awesome, and on top of it is the way smaller Jackery Explorer 100 Plus. Now, when you have something like this, now this isn't gonna run a bunch of appliances or anything like that, but what it will allow you to do is charge your small to possibly medium electronic devices. Now, this excels in doing things like charging up your rechargeable batteries, charging up your rechargeable flashlights, your iPods, your iPads, your cell phones, all of these things that allow you to power up communication devices. This is perfect for drones. When you become more of an advanced prepper, drones can be utilized to survey the area after a disaster. You can go ahead and see, hey, is relief coming? Have they opened up the roads to where you can get out of the affected area? Or can I get to the places where supplies are being held so I can go purchase them or possibly barter for them? Things of that nature. If there's social unrest, hey, is a mob or is there a riot in my area? How far off is it? All of those things are exceptional uses for drones. And the only way that you can keep that information flowing is by having some kind of power source. And in my opinion, starting off with a very small portable power station is a perfect for your power generation needs in the beginning. Once you fulfill all your other preps, then going something a lot more bigger will definitely be feasible. When I bought this Jackery Explorer 300 Plus, it also came with a 40-watt solar panel. So it can keep it powered. As long as you have sun, you can go ahead and power all your small to possibly medium electronic devices indefinitely. So that is the number 6 preparedness item to get first, is emergency power generation. The 7th preparedness item to get first, in my opinion, is going to be the Gas One dual fuel portable stove. This portable stove is a perfect item for preppers to get. because it allows you to not only cook food, but it also can be utilized to purify your water if you have questionable drinking water, or if you have to collect the rainwater. It allows you to use the two types of fuel sources, whether it be butane or propane, and it allows you to purify your water to ensure that it is potable and safe for human consumption. These are very efficient as well. The big thing is you've got to ensure that if you get these types of portable stoves, that you have the propane or the butane to operate them. And with that being said, you want to make sure you take the precautions when you utilize them. You want to make sure that you have a fire extinguisher on hand. You want to make sure you have a fire alarm or a smoke detector. Then you also want to make sure you have a carbon monoxide alarm. So that way, if you utilize this and something happens, you have those all readily available. That way you can go ahead and put out a potential hazardous situation with very minimal destruction. So that's the number 7 preparedness item to get first, is the Gas One dual fuel portable stove. Now rolling into number 8 would be this Mr. Heater Buddy Heater. Now this would mainly be utilized for, of course, the winter time frame. You've got the grid goes down, the power goes out for a short period of time. If you don't have the ability to start a fire in your house, as far as having a fireplace or an integral wood stove, then in my opinion, this is the next best thing. Out of everything that's out there, this is the most efficient and the safest thing you can get as far as heating up small spaces in your house. This Mr. Buddy Heater can put off 9,000 BTUs on low, I do believe. On low, this gets about 5 hours per 1 pound bottle of propane. And then they also sell adapters to where you can buy that'll hook onto the Mr. Buddy Heater and then hook onto 20 propane fuel tanks. That way it extends your period of time where you can utilize these. In addition to that, it also has a bunch of safety features. It's got a low oxygen sensor. If it senses low oxygen in the area that it's in, it'll go ahead and shut down. And then it also has an anti-tip switch on here. So if this tips over, it goes ahead and shuts off. And again, just like with the Gas One propane portable stove, you want to make sure that you have, when you operate this, you have a fire extinguisher, a smoke detector, and a carbon monoxide detector. That way, if anything happens, you have the ability to go ahead and put that potential fire out right off the bat, and it doesn't spread. So that is my number 1, or my, as you were, number 8 preparedness item to get first. The 9th preparedness item to get first, in my opinion, is going to be some type of portable rechargeable fans. Now, I've said many times, I live in North Florida now. That's where I retired out of the Marine Corps. And I work on a military base nearby. And in the summers, it gets hot and humid. So having the ability to be able to cool myself during those hot and humid days, if the grid would go down, will definitely be a lot more bearable. Now, I've got a couple questions on, hey, you know, all those fans will do is blow hot air around. Yes, that's what it will do, but and it will provide a certain level of relief if you're sitting down or you're laying down. This allows you to get a lot more comfortable so you can sleep. I don't know if a lot of you have been able to try to sleep when it's extremely hot and humid, but it is almost unbearable. Sleeping is not an option, but with something like this, it will allow you to get comfortable enough and relaxed enough to sleep comfortably if it's hot and humid. So, and also too, it uses these normal batteries. These are Ryobi personal fans, and they use these 18 volt Ryobi 4 amp hour batteries. You also make 6, 8, and whatever, but on one charge, these two, and this one will get like this one. I think I went ahead and got almost 11 hours out of one of these batteries. So couple this with my portable solar generators, and I've got almost unlimited power and abilities to run these. So definitely, it is not the perfect scenario to keep cool during a grid down situation, but it definitely helps, and it's better than nothing. So that is my 9th preparedness item to get first, are portable rechargeable fans. The 10th item, preparedness item to get first, is going to be lanterns or flashlights. In front of you, I've got a bunch of lanterns. I've got a Coleman lantern or 2 Coleman lanterns. This Coleman lantern you can go ahead and crank wind. I've got the large streamlight and then the mini streamlight. All of these lanterns allow you to illuminate the area to where you can still work and you can still operate and do tasks and move around at night. Anybody that has had the power go out and you don't have any type of lanterns or flashlights, know that it makes it extremely difficult to do anything once the sun sets and it's nighttime. So in addition to that, you also can get things like, here is a Olight Seeker 4. This thing is a rechargeable flashlight. And all of these up here run off a battery. So you couple this with some rechargeable batteries, and then you recharge those batteries with your portable solar generator, and you have basically unlimited power. Something simple as a Baton 3, Olight Baton 3, or a Baton 4, where it got its own power pack, or something as simple as this Energizer headlamp. So you want to make sure that you have lanterns and flashlights. That way the grid that goes down, the lights go out, you have the ability to see in the dark. That is the number 10 preparedness item to get first. Now, my last preparedness item that I feel that you should get first is a bug out bag. Now, the main reason why I think that this should be on the preparedness items to get first is because regardless of where you live, again, I've said this many times in all my videos, I live in the United States. There is just about no place on this planet where you're going to go where there's not some form of natural disasters. There's always the threat of man-made disasters as well. Life is very unpredictable. So there is a chance that you won't be able to ride out these types of SHTF scenarios in your house. So you need to be able to grab the things that are important for survival or to get you through a SHTF event. Grab them, jump in your vehicle, and leave the area, go to somewhere safer. Because if you can't, then your ability to get through that event is going to be a lot harder. In your bug out bag, you should have your normal things for survival, personal protection, food, water, shelter, important documentation, as far as like your passport, social security cards, your birth certificates. You should also sit down there and grab cash, precious metals, things a lot like that. Your communications, all that stuff should be able to fit in bug out bags or very organized containers to where you can grab them, put them in your vehicle, and get out of the area. Because if you don't, like I said, your ability to come out unscathed, the other side of that SHTF scenario unscathed, is a lot less likely. So my number 11 preparedness item to get first is a bug out bag. All right, so just to go over my list, number 1 was personal protection. I chose a firearm. Number 2, 2-week supply of food. 3, water filtration, purification, and water containers. 4, shelter, which consists of possibly tent, sleeping bags, wool blankets. 5, first aid kit, medications. 6, emergency power generation. 7, you want some type of portable stove. 8, some type of portable heating unit like the Mr. Buddy heater. 9, rechargeable fans. 10, lanterns, flashlights, and 11, bug out bags. If you get at least those 11 things, I think you're on your way to having a solid preparedness plan if a short-term SHTF event transpires. Once you have those things, you can go ahead and build on them. That way you can not just survive, but you can thrive. Out of all of this list, there's really only 3 items on here. Actually, I will say 4 items that can be extremely expensive. A good quality firearm will probably run you anywhere between $300 to $600. Me personally, I would go with a pistol. They're concealable. They're effective. They're multiple different calibers and ammunitions you can decide, but that is probably going to be your most expensive one. And then you've also got the emergency power generation. If you go for a gasoline generator, decent ones cost anywhere between $500 to $700. And then same thing with solar generators. They're going to be more on the pricey side. That sleeping bag that I showed, the USMC 3 sleeping bag system, that was somewhat pricey. And then of course your bug out bag. Your bug out bag is going to be a culmination of things that you're going to need to survive if you have to relocate and leave the area. So outside of those 4 things, all the other items that I've just discussed are relatively inexpensive. If you break these down into 3 or 4 items to get over a month or every 3 months, or however you want to break them down, it is very, very obtainable to get all of these things over the course of 6 to 12 months. Because I know everybody's financial situation is different, but if you buckle down and you pinch your pennies and you squirrel that money away, you can get all of these preparedness items. But all right, YouTube, that's enough for today. If you like this video, please hit that thumbs up. If you like this content, please hit that subscribe button. In the comments below, please let me know what you like, what you don't like. Let me know, do you think I got this list right? If not, let me know what you think that should be on this list. Let me know what is on your list of the first preparedness items to get for beginning preppers. All right, YouTube, this is Gunnery Sergeant 67. I'm out.